Now, blogging. Anybody here have a blog? Okay, if you don't have a blog, you need a blog. You absolutely should have a blog today. You should be telling people what you know, what makes you different, and you should be commenting on the things, not just that you know and that you do, but are important to the audience that you serve. If you're looking to put a blog together, there's several platforms out there. The biggest ones are Blogger, which is you can get to at blogger.com, WordPress, and TypePad. I actually prefer the WordPress platform. It takes a little bit of technical ability to set it up independent of their free platform, but it's probably a better way to go. If you're looking to set a blog up, we can help you with that. But the reason you need a blog is no less than Donald Trump maintains a blog, and believe it or not, he became our client because we interacted with his staff through blogging. Now, if a little brand new media company here in Frisco, Texas, could take one of the biggest global brands in the world, bring them in as one of our clients, and I'll tell you a secret, guys, he was our first real client that we signed on this summer when we splintered this company off of our conglomerate, and that was our first client because of blogging. So when I say you need a blog, I mean you need a blog, because if that's what's possible, imagine what you can do. There's immense amounts of niches that you can go into with blogging. One of our staff back here, Mark, if you'd stand up for me real quick. Mark Pereira is going to run out of here toward the end and grab some discs, and we actually have some audio discs. If you see him, give him a business card. He'll give you a disc with, among other things, a pretty long audio lesson on blogging on it. Next, podcasting. Podcasting is probably the coolest emerging technology that I've seen. I recently went to a meetup group last week. We met with 84 other podcasters from around DFW. We pride ourselves on being cutting edge, and we realized that some of these guys were like the CSI criminal investigation guys on TV you see with how far they're taking technology. They know everything about every audio card, every distribution method. It's amazing what's being done by people in their spare time today. We heard from a group of people who started up a tech podcast about 2 years ago. Husband and wife team, they both quit their job, and all they do is a 5-minute-a-day podcast now to talk about things in the tech industry. They make their full living at that. That's where podcasting's going. Podcasting's like having talk radio or talk TV on the internet that's on demand in any niche with such a low cost of entry that anybody here that really wanted to could put together a podcast and get your message out. So unlike television or radio, it just has a very high cost of entry, has the FCC to get involved with and all these licensing issues, spectrums, and all this other stuff. You want to put a podcast together, you put the information on the right type of platform, you start delivering it. We just put our podcast into the iTunes system, so that allows us to reach the majority of people that are actually listening to podcasts today. Anybody can listen to a podcast, though. You don't have to have an iPod. You go to a website that broadcasts a podcast, you listen on your computer, or you can put it on a portable media device. I'll throw out an invitation right now with podcasting. We actually run what's called the Dallas Business Broadcast, and it's our view. It's something we can give back to the business community. So what we're asking is anybody that has a compelling story, something informational to share with the business community that would like to appear on our podcast, get with us. We'll have you on as a guest. The only thing is we want to make it sort of like what we do here with a speaker. Not really an infomercial, more of a general. So if you're an insurance agent, you talk about the needs for small businesses to have the right type of insurance, or protecting an investment with Key Man Insurance, something to that effect, rather than here's who I am and come buy from me. That's a commercial. We want this to be more like you have an article in the newspaper rather than an advertisement. So that's available from us. And that'll let you guys get into podcasting without actually having to run one. It's a little more work than we thought it was when we put it together. And here's where you can find both our podcast and our blog. Our blog is at businessinDallas.com, and our podcast is at DallasBroadcast.com. And we do invite you to go ahead and have a look at those, get an idea of the content we have on there. We'll also take your content for our blog. So if you have something that's going on, the Chamber as well, you guys can get a hold of us, tell us about events you have coming up. We'll post about them on our blog. We market that aggressively to the business community. And I'm even looking for contributors to the blog if you'd like to be a regular contributor about a business subject. So we do have that available as well. If you wanted to get a hold of any of us, I'll leave this up until they take it down. But the worst looking guy of the bunch is me on the left. There's our young Internet Services Director, Mark, in the center, and our PR Director, Debbie Decker, on my right, your left. And I thank you for letting me speak today. If there's any questions, I don't know if that's the format, but I'll take them either now or later. I would have went slower, but I figured the cowbell would have went off.